Good morning. Welcome to Hope, Faith, and Joy Daily Devotion with me, Pastor Amanda. As you can see, I am sitting in my hotel room in Springfield. We just finished annual conference, and I'm going to be hitting the road here in just a few minutes to head back home to St. Joe. But it's still great to take a moment of devotion before hitting the road and getting back to St. Joe. So we are continuing our adventure with Esther and Mordecai, and we find out that we are in chapter 8 right now, and we're seeing how Mordecai and Haman are being compared, the differences, and how the similar things they do and the different things they do. And so, but in some ways, you almost feel like this could be the end of the story. We find out that Queen Esther now is overseeing the house of Haman. Mordecai has been raised to awareness and respect of the king, and you would think that the story could end here. But remember, this story is not about Esther. This story is not about Mordecai. It's not about the king, or about Haman. The story is about the hundreds of thousands of lives that are not mentioned in this story, because everything that's got this sparked is that Haman had decided to destroy the Jewish people. And so it feels like our characters are all in awesome places, but the story's not about them. It's about all the other people. And I think that's really hard for us to realize sometimes. We think, well, my life is all wrapped up, so everything's good here. And as I'm doing a separate study on the side, of course, got to have another study going, Simple and Free by Jen Hatmaker, my life is great right now, but there are so many starving people in the world. There are people who are without clothing. There are people who are incarcerated, and some of them are innocent, and yet they're stuck in prison right now. Just because all the loose ends are tied up for me doesn't mean there's not suffering in the world. And I think that this story really hones into that right now, because it would be so easy to end the story here. But no, there's more that has to happen. And this chapter just speaks to how the processes that Haman went through to kill the Jewish people, Mordecai uses that same process of writing edicts to everybody in their own language. He then sends it out through the postal system. But he also does something else. Mordecai tells the Jewish people they can defend themselves. You can protect yourselves. So he doesn't, because the scripture says that when the king makes the edict, it has to happen. So what happened is that Haman said that the Jewish people could be killed. What Mordecai does is he says the Jewish people can defend themselves. So all of a sudden now it makes people think, oh, they can defend themselves, so I can't capture them. And if you think this is kind of stupid, or like that's kind of ridiculous, like why would you do that? We don't have to look back far in our own history. This is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany. The edict went out that the Jewish people could be collected, the homosexuals could be collected, the intellectuals could be collected, and then shipped off to concentration camps. And there was never anything that said you can defend yourself against this. They were just their almost naivety, their wanting to support their nation. They went along with it. But if somebody had said, no, you have the right to defend yourself, to stay at your place, things might have been differently. But, it kind of sounds silly, but it's amazing what it means to say, you can protect yourself. But you can also take that to the extreme, to where then, you stake out your house and nobody can come in. So it gets to another degree. But we're just aware in this sense that in order to save the Jewish people, the people as a whole, they were now given the freedom to say, no, this isn't how it's going to work. And so it's kind of interesting how sometimes we do have the right to life, and sometimes we have to be reminded too that we not fully protect, but watch out for ourselves along the way. But when we're watching out for ourselves, we're watching out for others. That's, I guess, where I want to land on that. Your life is just as important as the other person's life. It's not to take a life to save a life. It's how do you protect both lives? How do you honor both lives together? It's not about one or the other. It's about both and so we find now that they have been raised up in honor, and the people are being saved, and the city is happy, and there is a festival going on, and we just see this great celebration. But it doesn't end there. But you'll have to wait till tomorrow to learn about what happens next. So I hope you got a little something out of today's daily devotion. Thanks for joining me, Pastor Amanda, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.